Welcome to Top Tower Review, the program where we look back at media through the ages. And today we are discussing episodes of children's TV programs that were, for some reason or another, banned from the air. Many times as a result, these banned episodes went missing for many years, and some remain lost to this very day. Sometimes the reasons for these bannings are due to real-world events that resulted in the episode's societal context becoming too sensitive, even if coincidentally, while other times they were banned due to the episode being considered to be too mature in nature for its intended audience of young children. The latter is particularly interesting due to the subjective, dynamic nature of what exactly is considered inappropriate for children. As you will see, sometimes it is a result of social justice reform and society's changing views that make a program that was previously unacceptable seemingly harmless today. And even more often, unfortunately, the opposite of that is true. Then there are simply times both then and now that the episode is very clearly inappropriate for young audiences, and it makes one wonder how such ideas were ever even considered, let alone produced. So without further ado, let's jump right into the list of 5 fascinating, banned and missing episodes of children's TV programs. TaleSpin, Flying Dupes. This first episode on our list has never truly been missing, even if its banning has made it frustratingly more difficult to locate than other TaleSpin episodes. However, the story behind it is so insane, I really wanted to talk about it. Flying Dupes is the 65th and final episode of the original TaleSpin cartoon series from 1990 and 1991, which saw classic characters from the film The Jungle Book, such as Baloo, King Louie, and Shere Khan, working in more civilian occupations in the fictional city of Cape Suzette. Baloo, the main character of the series, works as an aircraft pilot who delivers packages. In fact, the series is notable in that it changes a lot of the characters' personalities, and of course the non-jungle civilian setting for the series. For example, Shere Khan is now anthropomorphic, and King Louie owns a bar. However, despite its far different take on the characters, the show was a moderate success, and ran on the Disney Afternoon block alongside other shows that similarly took familiar characters and placed them in new settings, such as Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers and DuckTales. However, despite TaleSpin and the Disney Afternoon block as a whole success, the program met its fair share of controversy, with the 65th episode, Flying Dupes. This episode was banned wholly based on the content within the episode, and is one that will almost assuredly never be unbanned. The episode features Baloo, our favorite carrier pilot, being told to deliver a cuckoo clock as a token of good faith to the neighboring nation of Thembria's High Marshal. However, unbeknownst to Baloo, the package actually holds a literal ticking time bomb, planted by munitions manufacturers, sparking a war between the two nations, ultimately boosting Cape Suzette's weapon sales.
When our border guards find the bomb on Baloo's plane, the High Marshal will blame Cape Suzette for trying to blow him up.
Yeah, then he'll declare war, and our bomb factory will be back in business.
This episode's synopsis sounds too insane to have actually happened, but yes, it really did. It is shocking that such an episode ever made it past the development stage. It only ever aired once in its normal time slot before instantly being banned by Disney. Despite the fact that it is the final episode of the series, it should be noted that there is no evidence to suggest that the episode's content led to the series cancellation, but rather that it is a very awkward coincidence. The episode was never re-aired on any Disney networks until nearly a decade later, when it aired once on Toon Disney for an unknown reason, most likely by mistake. Besides those 2 airings, the episode has never been re-aired on a Disney network. It is notable, however, that the episode is not lost, as several independent and international stations that held the rights to air the episode have done so regularly in the past. Also of note, the episode was confusingly included on the official TaleSpin Volume 3 DVD released by Disney, and is easily purchased anywhere the DVD is sold. It is still considered by Disney to be a banned episode, however, and is noticeably absent from certain services, such as Disney+. Dexter's Laboratory, Rude Removal. An episode of Dexter's Laboratory from 1997, titled Rude Removal, was intended to air as a 7-minute half to a full episode in the show's second season. However, the episode was never aired and was considered to be banned, as Cartoon Network feared that there would be backlash due to the vulgar language used in the episode. The episode featured Dexter creating a machine that could separate the rudeness from a person, and after a fight with Dee Dee, both Dee Dee and himself are split into 2 halves, a kind half and a rude half, which bully, act selfishly, and curse a lot.
Look, lady, that's cute and all, but let me tell you something. I make my own rules.
To be fair, the cursing is censored with classic TV bleeps, but the content teetered on the edge just enough for the network to get cold feet. While the episode was pulled from the network, it did air at a select number of animation festivals and conventions throughout the late 1990s, including the 1998 World Animation Celebration on February 21st, 1998. However, despite these occasional showings in the 90s, the episode was never really seen from again, and ultimately became lost media, and led many to believing that its very existence to be just a hoax. That was until 2010, when Fred Seibert of Frederator Studios, who was president of Hanna-Barbera in the early 90s when the episode was produced, confirmed its existence via his Tumblr page. Just a few years later, in 2012, Craig McCracken, art director for the show for its first 4 seasons, confirmed the episode's existence on his DeviantArt account. Later that same year, Gendy Tartakovsky, the creator of Dexter's Lab, confirmed during a Reddit AMA that the episode did indeed exist. In fact, Tartakovsky had been known to occasionally show the episode at public speeches, such as at a college lecture at the Rhode Island School of Design in 2008. Just a few months after this AMA, Adult Swim began releasing bumpers hinting that they may attempt to secure the rights to air the episode online. Eventually, Adult Swim tweeted a poll to see if there would be any interest in them doing so, and the response was, quote, overwhelming. Fast forward a few weeks to January of 2013, and the episode, censored bleeps and all, found its way onto Adult Swim's official YouTube channel, forever putting a cap on any debate about the episode's existence. This episode's banning is particularly fascinating, seeing as other popular children's programs release similarly themed episodes about curse words, such as SpongeBob SquarePants' Sailor Mouth or Rugrats' The Word of the Day. It makes one wonder if there really would have been backlash back in 1997 if the episode had aired. However, there is still a version that is considered by the lost media community to still be missing, the uncensored version of the episode's audio. For years, rumors abounded about such a version existing in Cartoon Network's archive, though there has never been any tangible evidence that it even really existed. That changed in July of 2017, when Craig McCracken confirmed through Twitter that uncensored audio was recorded at the time of production. This confirmation has only continued to fuel the fire for many to find the original uncensored audio, which remains lost to this day. Pokémon: Battle of the Quaking Island, Barboach vs. Whiscash. Battle of the Quaking Island, Barboach vs. Whiscash was the 375th episode of the famous children's anime series Pokémon, itself a part of the Advanced Generation series, which takes place during the 3rd generation of Pokémon video games in the Hoenn region. From what can be gathered, it can be assumed that in the episode, Ash, Brock, May, and Max visit a new town or island where the Pokémon Barboach and Whiscash are fighting, using their earthquake and fissure attacks, and disrupting the local area as a result. The episode was set to air in Japan on November 4th, 2004, but was pulled from the air less than 2 weeks before due to the societal context created by the 2004 Chetsu earthquake. Not wanting to seem insensitive, Japan put the episode on hiatus before eventually discontinuing it entirely. Pokémon, being such a long-running series, is no stranger to bannings, mostly due to censorship when bringing episodes over to the West. 3 particularly famous examples are Beauty and the Beach, which was banned in the West for Team Rocket using inflatable breasts to win a beauty contest, The Legend of Dratini, which showcased a heavy use of guns, and Meowth dressed up as Adolf Hitler, intended as a joke, but a lot more sensitive a topic in the West. And most infamously, Electric Soldier Porygon, which was also eventually banned in Japan for causing hundreds of seizures due to a strobing effect used in the animation. However, despite all these examples of banned Pokémon episodes, Battle of the Quaking Island Barboach vs. Whiscash has a unique distinction of being only one of 4 episodes of Pokémon to never air even once, anywhere in the world. Not even Japan. The other 3 episodes being a New Year's Eve special, which was intended to recap most of the program's first season, but was pulled due to its intended airing happening very shortly after the Electric Soldier Porygon incident, and Rocket Dawn vs. Plasma Dawn, a 2-part pair of episodes that featured Team Rocket battling with Team Plasma, which was banned due to a similarly themed tectonic event in the episode, and its intended airing in 2011, coinciding with the Tohoku earthquake tsunami crisis and the resulting nuclear power plant meltdown. Battle of the Quaking Island, Barboach vs. Whiscash, along with those other 3 episodes, have still, to this day, never been aired, and likely never will, unfortunately resulting in them becoming lost media. The only surviving piece of the episode is from the Next Time on Pokémon teaser that played after the episodes the week before, which shows Ash and his friends being shaken by the Barboach and Whiscash's earthquake attacks. It is interesting to note that ever since this episode's banning, no Pokémon in the anime has ever used the attacks Earthquake, Magnitude, or Fissure, despite their prominence in the video games, and therefore it can be assumed that their use is banned from the show entirely. Postcards from Buster, Sugartime, Hinesburg, Vermont. Postcards from Buster was an animated live-action hybrid educational program for preschool-aged children that aired on PBS Kids in the mid-2000s. It was a spin-off of the extremely popular and still-running program Arthur, starring his best friend Buster Baxter, as he and his family traveled around the country. In the program, whenever Buster visited a new location, live-action footage of real-life residents to that area was shown, usually highlighting an occupation or pastime specific to the region, while Buster added jokes and commentary. In one episode from 2005, titled Sugartime, Hinesburg, Vermont, Buster visited Vermont to learn how maple syrup and cheese were made. However, despite this seemingly harmless premise, the episode was banned and never seen from again after its initial airing on March 22, 2005. Hearing this, one might assume that there was something absurd written into the episode, such as with flying dupes, or perhaps something hauntingly dark was later found in the live-action footage. In reality, the reason the episode was pulled has a much more negative spot in history. The episode was ultimately banned due to the fact that the main family showcased during the live-action segments were led by a lesbian couple. The family is shown to be happy, healthy, and loving, and are very passionate about their hometown in Vermont. And while the two moms proudly present themselves as such, their lifestyle never became the focus of the episode. It was still, first and foremost, about maple syrup and cheese. But PBS looked back on two moms and said, "It's too controversial." Apparently, the episode caused quite the outrage from those with anti-LGBT sentiments, with even Education Secretary Margaret Spellings taking time out of what was only her second day in office to write PBS regarding the episode, saying that Ready to Learn, the legal term used for publicly funded educational television such as with PBS, had the mission of, quote, facilitating student academic achievement, and to use the television medium to help prepare preschool-aged children for school. The television programs that must fulfill this mission are to be specifically designed for this purpose, with the highest attention to production quality and validity of research-based educational objectives, content, and materials, and then followed up by saying that the episode of Postcards from Buster, quote, does not come within these purposes, or within the intent of Congress and would undermine the overall objective of the Ready to Learn program, and that many parents would not want their young children exposed to the lifestyles portrayed in this episode. Spellings finally included, "You should also know that 2 years ago, the Senate Appropriations Committee raised questions about the accountability of funds appropriated to Ready to Learn programs," a quote which the Washington Post later called ominous. The intent behind these words was very obvious to anyone who could put two and two together, and unfortunately, it worked. PBS pulled the episode, and it never aired again after its initial airing on March 22nd, and it from that point forward became lost media. The episode was a hot topic in the lost media community for years, before a random anonymous user uploaded the episode in full to the website Kiss Cartoon, where it was quickly saved and reshared so as to make sure it did not become lost once again. Today, the episode is easily found in full online, and upon watching it, it becomes even more painfully apparent how harmless the episode really was. Airing in 2005, the episode acts as a fascinating, reflective view on our social history here in the United States. While this episode of a spin-off program briefly featured a lesbian couple that viewers had never met before and was considered too controversial to air, just a decade later, Arthur, a much more popular flagship program for PBS Kids, aired an episode where Mr. Ratburn, a character children had known and loved for years, got married to a fellow gay man. While this episode will always sit as an example on the wrong side of history, the contrast between these two episodes highlights the strides we have made as a society in just 15 short years. The Wicked Witch visits Sesame Street. On February 10, 1976, the long-running children's Muppet program Sesame Street aired its 847th episode, wherein the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz visits Sesame Street when her magic broom falls from the sky while she is flying over. The broom is eventually picked up by the character David, who, reluctant to give the broom back to the witch, forces her to spend time and make friends with the characters from Sesame Street. The episode featured Margaret Hamilton, the original actress of the Wicked Witch from the 1939 film, reprising her role. The episode aimed to teach children about fear and not to judge others based off their appearance alone, and also aimed to showcase the value in planning through the lens of the witch losing and then subsequently attempting to regain her broom. However, the episode received massive backlash from parents after the witch reportedly, quote, traumatized and terrified many children with her appearance. The Children's Television Workshop, the production company behind Sesame Street, supposedly received hundreds of letters from angry parents who found the witch's appearance to be inappropriate for young audiences. One mother, who was a Wiccan, even wrote in to criticize the stereotypical fairy tale-like portrayal of the witch and asked the CTW to produce an episode showcasing witches as they truly are in the modern day. After this criticism, criticism, the Children's Television Workshop held multiple test screenings to see if there was any merit behind these complaints. The results were inconclusive, as children watched these screenings in the company of hundreds of other children and their parents, arguably a much more safe and comforting environment than while watching the show by oneself at home, and also due to the fact that the test screening was in color, while color TVs were still a novelty for many families at the time, resulting in many children simply being fascinated by the Wicked Witch's green face. As a result of these inconclusive test screenings, combined with the ever-growing pile of parental complaints, Anna Herrera of the CTW Research Department pulled the plug on the episode, suggesting it was unsuitable for re-airing. It has never been rerun since its original premiere in 1976, and remains lost to this day. It is particularly interesting that this episode received such massive backlash, as Margaret Hamilton had appeared as the witch on multiple programs throughout the 1970s, including Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, none of which received any sort of backlash or banning. The episode has remained infamous in both the Jim Henson and Lost Media communities for years. On November 24th of 2019, the Museum of the Moving Image in New York City held a special event with the theme of Lost and Found, a truly exciting idea for anyone interested in the concept of lost media. At this event, Jim Henson Legacy President Craig Sherman, alongside puppeteer Stephanie Abruzzo, former Sesame Street head writer Norman Stiles, and Sesame Workshop's Rosemarie Truglio, worked together to present a discussion panel which celebrated Sesame Street's 50th anniversary. This portion of the event also notably showcased clips from both the Wicked Witch episode and another famous Lost Sesame Street episode titled Snuffy's Parents Get a Divorce. As a side note, I am very jealous and really wish I could have attended this event. Because of the event, however, the Lost Media community gained the largest portion of additional information regarding the episode that they had received in years, and now a multitude of color stills and full-length episode synopses can be found online. The episode as a whole, however, still remains missing. And there we have it. 5 fascinating banned and missing episodes of children's TV programs. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. We post list videos and video essays all about lost media, Saturday morning cartoons, retro gaming, and more. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Silence, signing out. I'll see you all next time on Top Tower Review.